I was always sitting there going, well, you know, maybe they didn't consider me for that because I can't do it. And I can't even remember what was said to me, but one day I just all of a sudden realized that I was putting my own barriers up. And I had already made the decision for them of not getting that job. And so about 3 or 4 years ago, I sat down and I thought, you know what? I think I'm better than everybody else. So I'm going to do a little presentation about that. And I actually put together a presentation for my boss, and I told him, I said, this is what the company needs, and this is what I can do, and this is what I want to get paid, and this is what you're going to get in return. And so, I mean, my job is unique in the Schenker world. And so basically it evolved a bit, but I mean, it really exploded when I actually took the step and said, this is what you need, and this is what I promise in return, and if I give you this, then you give me that. And I had an actual business case and plan of how I wanted this job. Now, this job is being replicated around the world. So it's now recognized. Now it's been 3 years that I've had the full job. I've had the same title for about 7 or 8 years, but now the scope of the job that I have, I mean, the projects that we run are in the hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's because I was able to grab that. And I have a supportive boss. He wasn't so supportive at first, but then I told him what the return on investment was, no risk, because if he just let me do it, then he could pay me. And so now they're replicating this role around the world because they recognize that we've gotten more done in the Americas than anywhere else that doesn't have the role. So that was my big lean-in moment, and I have to actually thank my husband for that, because you know, I think it was at coffee one time, he goes, would you just stop it? He goes, the whole neighborhood is scared of you. We're scared of you. Everyone's scared of you. He goes, like, you're scared of yourself, for God's sakes. Would you just, like, you know, go out there and grab it? So I did. And but I was, you know, I don't get scared very often, but I was actually scared making that presentation, because I thought, you know, what if he says, are you crazy? Like, what are you thinking? You're really not that good, you know. So again, what you said, I mean, and it's only really been about 3 years ago that I finally got it, and now I ask for everything. And you know what? I get everything I ask for.
It's right. It's amazing. Because most times people will say yes to it. Probably, you know, I've had a couple of, you know, lean-in scenarios. But one was probably when, again, I was probably 27, 28. I had an opportunity to buy into the company that I worked for. The gentleman, Mike, was, his wife passed away, and he wanted to sell the organization. And a way to pay back to employees that he felt were loyal to him was for us to buy in. And with that, with a certain percentage of shares that we actually purchased, he also gave us shares in return. So it was a big decision as a kid. You know, I really didn't have any money. I had just come through a divorce. I had a little bit of a settlement, and I sat with my dad. And again, another lesson that he taught me was that you have to spend money to make money. And I'm very thankful to this day because of his work with me on that. Because financially, it allowed me to do something that I was terrified of. It allowed me to go in and feel big and mature, and I wasn't that little, you know, fat 12-year-old anymore. I wasn't. And, you know, it changed my life and opportunity, but it became a base. It became a lesson learned. And, you know, as I go on and I took on my own organization, it was the risk versus the reward. You know, I was going to spend a lot of money to employ good people. And it was a decision I made, and it's one that I will never look back on. It truly was am I going to fall off this cliff? And no, you're not. And it's just, you continue to grow, and it's been, you know, again, I'll never look back on it. So, you know, I kind of encourage for everyone. I think, you know, I'll use the analogy of golf, because so many men love to golf, and women come hesitant to learn how to golf because there's a guy standing at the tee box. And when you watch a man tee off, they tee off no differently than we do. The ball goes to the left, the ball goes to the right, it goes in the woods. You know, and it's the same with business. You have to play that golf game. You know, we're all equal. You know, you open us up, we're all the same color. So, you know, you have to go with it. And anyway, again, I'm babbling, but
So
yeah,
that-
lesson learned is to spend money to make money.